Hey there everyone! Today we're going to take a look at Risk of Rain, since it just very recently got pushed through the Greenlight on Steam. I like this game a lot, and I wanted to show it off to say, you know what, I know it can be difficult and tedious to pick through the just recent 200 games that were shoved through Greenlight, and find which ones are really good. That's the problem with Greenlight right now on Steam, is that just because it made it through doesn't mean it's great, and, well, I feel like it's not as much of a celebration to get through Greenlight as it should be. So that's why I'm going to make some videos of really good games that have gotten through, and the first one I want to highlight is Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain is a very difficult sort of 2D shooter sort of game, in the vein of kind of Binding of Isaac, I would say, is probably the most similar offering out there that I can think of right now, but different in a way. So let's just go ahead and get right into it and show you what it's like. Now, I have two characters right now. I have the Commando and the Enforcer. The Enforcer's got a nice shield that prevents him from taking damage from the front, and also a good amount of damage from his shotgun and the shield slam, which is very powerful, as well as a nice stun grenade. But he's a bit slow, and he doesn't quite fit my taste of playstyle as much as the Commando does, who can dodge around and has this really cool Full Metal Jacket like rail shot ability that just flies through a stack of enemies no matter how many there are, dealing a lot of damage to them instantly, so that's nice. And as you can see, there are 5 on each row, so there are 10 characters. Each character has 4 different abilities that work in a different way, so there's actually quite a lot of variety in the terms of the characters, but I don't have them all unlocked yet. I'm working on that. And also you can choose a difficulty. I would recommend starting on Drizzle a couple of times, but you won't be really unlocking a lot of stuff on it because your progress isn't saved. So items and stuff you get, it doesn't save it. But Rainstorm, normal way to go. And then finally Monsoon, which I wouldn't recommend unless you're crazy. So, Rainstorm, let's get into it. The Desolate Forest. Here we go. So this is Risk of Rain. As you can see, my character is very, very small. Very small, and that's normal. You can change the scale of the game. But, as far as that goes, this is your character size. It's running a bit sluggish right now while I'm filming, but that's just because of the setup I have right now. That's a bit confusing because I have to work through some computer issues, so don't mind that. Now, I'm using a 360 controller to play it right now, which is weird for me because I usually use a keyboard and mouse for just about everything, really. But I'm not sure if I like the controller or the mouse more in this, or the keyboard rather. They're both good to use, but I'm using the controller right now. Now, as you can see, there are items in the game. And I've got enough to buy one of these, so I want the crowbar, because I know what it does. So, deal bonus damage to healthy monsters. When you pick up an item, it gives you just a little description of it that doesn't necessarily always tell you exactly what it does. But there is a detailed item log in the game that I will show you a bit later that explains to numbers and percentages what items do if you've collected them. So that's really nice. So the main point is to make it through these levels as best as you can. Right now, I'm just trying to get some kills and level myself up to get a bit stronger and get some money to buy some items to help me with the boss. This is the basic gist of each level. The enemies will continuously spawn. Enemies will never stop spawning until you kill the boss of a level. And that's just how it works. I'm going to open this chest. That's a nice item. So, you can also... Most of the items are passive, that have some really neat effects, and there are also some use items, which are items that have a cooldown that you can actively use to do something. In this case, this will create a snowstorm for 8 seconds that'll freeze things around me randomly, which is very nice. In fact, I'll probably use it right here, because these things are a huge pain. So, I've got to use the combinations of my class abilities, any passives I get to make a sort of build, and my use item to basically survive as best as I can. And the main point is to get to this. This right here. This is a teleporter. You activate this, it gives you 90 seconds. And enemies will spawn at a much higher rate, and the boss will spawn. Now, the boss is a bit random. As far as I know, there are 3 bosses that will appear on the first level, either the Iron Golem, the Wandering Vagrant, or the Magma Worm. And levels after this have different bosses. That second class that I showed you on the screen there, the Enforcer, is actually unlocked by beating the 3 bosses of the first sort of level set. And I'm not going to activate that just yet. Some people argue that you should activate that very quickly and then farm while it's active, even if you're like level 2. But I don't think I'm quite skilled enough to do that properly and trust myself to survive. So I'm going to activate this drone. Drones are awesome, by the way. This is just a basic drone. So it has a little machine gun basically that it'll shoot for me. Like an autocannon. There are several types of drones. I've seen 5 so far. There are healing ones that obviously heal you. There are missile and laser ones, and there's like an assault drone or a combat drone, I think it's called, that has more like an assault rifle type of weapon on it, and it's quite a thing. Alright, level 6, getting up there. I like to be around 7 or 8 before I fight the boss usually, but sometimes I'll fight them before that. Now, the main factor you're seeing is on the very right. A little timer. Difficulty, very easy. That's a lie, by the way. But this timer constantly counts up. Every 5 minutes on the normal difficulty, the sort of set difficulty of the game itself goes up. So at 5 minutes in, so about a minute from now, it'll switch from very easy to easy. And then monsters will spawn more often, they will have more health, they'll be more difficult to kill, etc. And that gauge goes up continuously no matter what, as long as you're playing. It doesn't reset by beating a boss, it doesn't start again for a new level, it continuously goes like that. So that's one of the main arguments for trying to beat a level quickly, or get to the boss quickly, to help you get through it a little faster, a little better. I want this, because it gives me some money over time, and I'm going to gamble on one of these shrines. Ooh, that's nice. I think I'm going to switch out for that. This is an awesome missile launcher that's quite potent, very useful against bosses. I really need to be making my way over to the boss. I've taken too long because I'm going to have to fight it in easy instead of very easy. So as you can see, there's actually a lot of depth to the game. Well, I'm not sure if you can tell right now, but there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of variety to the combat, simply because of, and yes, the items do stack, the way the system works, in that you have passive items that create a build for you, basically. You have a use item and 10 classes that are completely different, with 4 abilities each. So, if you're looking for combat variety or variety in gameplay, well, you've definitely got it. Yeah, you've found your calling, I think. And the game is hard. It is not easy. And again, similar to Binding of Isaac, you have these enemies that are kind of palette-swapped versions of other enemies, like that orange guy right there is like a harder version of the Lemurian, those purple dealies. And, it's just lots of enemy variety, too. So, that's cool. Alright, I need to make my way to the teleporter, like, right the heck now. I'd like to get one more item, but I just need to get going. I need, like, a healing item or something. That would be cool. Basically, I've taken a bit too long, and I need some more health. I don't feel like I can reliably take down this boss right now. Every now and then when you kill monsters, they'll drop monster logs, which gives you some cool lore information on the monsters themselves. And there's also a character you can unlock by collecting, I believe, 15 of those monster logs. I have 7, I think. Oh yes, nice chest. Item, chest, and sort of gambling costs of all these things, like the shrines, will go up as you continue through the levels. And each level, I suppose you could say, seems to have a set of 2, meaning level 1 can either be this sort of dark, marshy area, or it can be like a bright green grasslands. The second level can either be this like fungal haven level that's got like plant-based enemies, lots of mushrooms and things, or one of my favorite, actually my favorite level so far, which is this creepy like ancient stone ruin with all these weird spirit monsters and things. It's really cool. The environment and the atmosphere that it gives off is really, really neat. I like it a lot. And I've only made it to the 3rd level once. And when I made it there, it was this quite pretty snowy, craggy area. So each level is different. They have different sets of enemies, different sets of bosses, and their own music. The backing music track for this game, the soundtrack itself, is phenomenally good. It sounds excellent. Every level has its own music, and every track it's great. They sound awesome. I'm in love with the soundtrack to this game. I'm glad I have it. So yeah, I'd recommend buying that. I'm also, of course, going to put the link for the Steam page in the description so you can check it out there. But, alright. Just getting some stuff. And we're gonna gamble a bit. Why not? That's nice, but I like the missile launcher more. Ooh, that's really nice. Will-o'-the-wisp. Lets me explode enemies randomly when I kill them. Alright, yeah, I have taken way too long, and I'm about to hit medium on the first stage, which is a no-no. That's a bad idea. So I need to make my way to fight the first boss. So what's this game about, really? It's hard to say. The game actually does have, like, a story a bit. It has lore that's kind of revealed. The world of the game is revealed as you read these monster and item logs, and it's really interesting to me. It's that kind of Dark Souls or Demon Souls way of telling a story, which is the game itself doesn't deliberately tell you much, but through item descriptions and things like that, you can discover more about it yourself. I like that way of storytelling. I think it's really cool, and I think the art style of this game in general is spectacular. I mean, you could say, you know, of course a lot of games have been doing the generic 8-bit style recently, and I feel that this is not that at all. I feel that these guys have done it right and made it not generic at all. They've made it look very cool. Obviously, your character sprites look very simplistic and very small, which is deliberate, because there's supposed to be a lot of action on screen at once in later levels, and trust me, there is. I've hit medium on the first stage. This is a problem. But what you're seeing really is these really interesting environment designs that are very pretty, and enemy designs that are varied and quite unique. And I'll show you one of the item and monster log sort of pages later on. Ow. First, I need to go over here and activate this. So I'm really curious to see what the other characters are like. Unlocking them is a bit difficult because the game is freaking hard, but I'm in it for the challenge. And this is one of those kind of games, again, like Spelunky and like Binding of Isaac and those types of games, where you're going to be playing it many, many times over, because everything's randomized as you play. There's lots of items. You're not going to beat it the first time you play. You're probably not going to beat it the 10th time you play, but you can. You just gotta keep trying. You gotta learn. You gotta learn the items, you gotta learn the classes, you gotta unlock stuff, and just, it's one of those types of games. I believe one of the most common terms that's going around right now is rogue-lite, which is a very strange term, but it's kind of a commentary on the fact that some people call them rogue-likes when they're not at all. They're kind of a light version of that, so. Alright, yeah, I've spent way too long in this level, and I'm probably going to die, but, oh, give me that ukulele! Makes me shock people. Oh, goodness. Alright, we're going to activate this teleporter. It's going to give us 90 seconds. And once the time is up, enemies will finally stop spawning. And you'll have to clear out the rest of the enemies on the screen to progress through the level. Oh god, the magma worm. This is probably the hardest boss I've fought so far. The golem doesn't seem to be too difficult. The vagrant isn't that bad once you learn its pattern, and I've fought a couple of other things like these wisps, this greater like purple wisp dealy, ancient wisp I think it's called. It's not too bad, but it does have a pretty long-reaching attack that's quite damaging, so you gotta be careful about that. I'm determined to make it to the second level for this video, so we're gonna see what happens there. I want to be dodging this. This class has a nice dodge that makes you invulnerable to damage while you're doing it. So you want to be using that. And commentating on this while playing it is absurdly difficult. All right, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're gonna use that, and we're gonna dive. Nice, got it. Ooh, gaming embryo, double effect. All right, so now we're gonna have to survive. We beat the boss. That was good time. Even though I've spent too long on this level. We're gonna have to survive for 20 more seconds, and then no more enemies will spawn, the level will be over, and I'll have to clear out the ones that are left. So that mass of them below me, which I'm now looking forward to. Gonna wait for my missile launcher to wind up, and we're almost there. And here we are. Boom, 28 enemies left. If I'm able to clear all, oh my good lord, clear all of these guys out. This is horrible. Whew. Have some missiles. That helps a little. Phew. Oh, that will-o'-the-wisp thing's awesome. Alright, not many enemies left. Just gotta try not to get horribly murdered by them. Not a big deal. Yeah. And that's where I like this commando class. It's pretty satisfying to roll around like that and just start wrecking everyone. Alright. Gotcha. Whew, that was rough. Any gold you have left at the end of the level is turned into experience when you use the teleporter, so you can't continue with the money that you had, basically. But it is nice to get more experience. Higher levels mean, generally speaking, you should survive longer, but I've spent way too much time in this level, so... Alright, there we go. It's about to hit hard difficulty soon, and as you can see, hard is only 4 notches up the difficulty scale. It goes way higher than that. Alright, we're gonna make it to the second level. I hope it's that cool ancient ruiny one with the kind of spirit-like enemies, and not the fungal one, but we'll see. Get a nice glob of experience there, and off to the next. Oh, it's the fungal haven, the damp caverns. Alright, that's fine. So here's the second level. Sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's the other one, which is a really cool sort of ruin theme with these weird spirity enemies with a really neat, almost, the game almost has this Lovecraftian sense of human interaction around it, in a way that, I mean, if you read a lot of the monster logs and the lore of the items and things, it seems like this planet is very unknown to the people that have kind of crash landed here, and it's caused them to try and find a place for humanity in this weird and utterly alien world that's completely unknown to them, and it's really compelling. I think for a game that has no real cutscenes or story elements per se, or voice acting, or really even dialogue, it does a fantastic job of actually creating a story by itself. And again, it's that kind of Dark Souls method of storytelling. Dang it, I was about to get that. Alright, well, that's me dead. And that's your average playthrough right there. That's how it works. Yeah. So we're going to go back to the menu to look at some stuff. Items. There are lots of items. These are the items that I've collected so far. I've actually gotten a couple more than this, but on easy mode, so they didn't show up here. So if you read some of the things these items do, this one was cool. The Brilliant Behemoth. All your attacks explode. Makes every attack you have explode. It's being delivered to Mercury, apparently. Pristine condition from the War of Slopes 2019, all genuine and real, good collector's item. She still works, but I would not try to fire it. Requires black powder, which is expensive enough as is, but she makes a loud bang. Selling for $200,000 starting. Send it back, or I'll have my boys over. You get little glimpses into the world that this place offers by reading some of this stuff. That's kind of cool. Musty, saggy, loose box. Yeah. This one is interesting. Upon killing an enemy, it fires out these like soul bolts that seek out an enemy, and as you can see, finally found the heretic. It's a ceremonial dagger. Foolish boy, thinking you could save his sister. With the knife returned, we can continue our rituals. Ah, that should please her. And her is capitalized. It's sent to a tomb on a burial site in Venus. In other words, there's like some sort of necromantic goddess on Venus. That's good. I'm sure this world is fine. And the monster log, these are the ones I've collected so far. So again, you can read these. And the art is just, it's fantastic. It looks so good. It's very cool to see all these. And you get some neat little kind of dead adventurer's log style stuff here. This one in particular I'd recommend reading. If you want to pause the video right now and read this, it's very, very cool sounding. And I mean, look at that. That's just really cool. The Colossus is one of the bosses that you have to fight. So yeah, there's that. And then this is how you unlock everything, as you can see. So achievements are actually useful in this case. You do these things and it unlocks new items for you to find, as well as unlocking characters. So as you can see, I've killed the Magma Worm, the Wandering Vagrant, and the Colossus, so I unlock the Enforcer, and it gives me 2 Enforcer-based challenges that will unlock more items to use. And these are how you get the other characters. I have to beat the 3rd stage, collect monster logs, find the robot janitor, and on and on and on. you get stuff to do. That's cool. That's very cool. I like that method of unlocking stuff a lot. And I like the world that this game offers. It's a lot of fun, it's very challenging, and the replayability is off the charts, with random level generation, lots of items, the fact that there are 10 classes that would interact completely differently with a build of various passive items, a use item, and the 4 unique abilities that each class has. None of them have the same ability twice. This is a compelling package, and the best part is, it's $10. It's only $10 for this. This is a lot of content for 10. I mean, look at this. Look at all these items and things you can get. For $10, this is quite the thing. So, yeah, link is in the description below. If you, too, want a very difficult 2D shooter, enjoy the kind of unique, almost haunting art style of this strange, unknown eldritch world on the edge of space, and want to unlock some stuff, go for it. That has been Risk of Rain, folks. Thank you for watching. Please pick this up on Steam. It's gotten through Greenlight, and I think the developers would be happy for some more attention. It's also published by Chucklefish, as in some of the people that are making Starbound. Yeah, go look that up too. I'll see you guys next time.